Next stop, Landsdowne Avenue. Please look right for traffic when exiting.
Hey everyone, it is Sunday, July 25th. The time is 3:53 p.m. and the temperature is around 29 degrees Celsius. And that was the 505 Dundas streetcar I just got off. And that'll be heading east over to Parliament. It's not making its usual trip up to Broadview Station due to some construction on Broadview. And this here is Landsdowne Avenue. And I'm currently walking east along Dundas Street West. And the plan for this one is to continue east on Dundas for about 3 kilometers or so. I think I'll finish up around Bathurst Street. And just to the north of here is College Street. Welcome to Due West. And this is my first time walking along this part of Dundas since the Step 3 reopening, which allowed for indoor dining and numerous other restrictions to be lifted. Here's Dundas St. Clarence Parquet. And this area is part of Little Portugal, which starts just to the west of where I got off the streetcar, and it runs to the east to around Dovercourt Road. This would be the main retail stretch through Little Portugal, but there's also a fair number of places along College Street, which is just to the north of here. And for such a nice day on a weekend afternoon, it's rather quiet. I imagine things will pick up the further I head east. That's interesting. It looks like that barber shop has their waiting area outside. And there is St. Helens across the street. And in July, the city voted 17-7 to rename Dundas Street. And I think the city is expected to move forward with that sometime next year. They'll be looking at alternate street names. And the street was named after Henry Dundas, who was a politician from Scotland. I don't think he had anything in particular to do with Toronto, but there's a fair bit of controversy surrounding his name lately. Here's some neat artwork. And the reason behind that controversy is the fact that in the 1800s, he voted to prolong the slave trade. And this area here is, or was known as, the town of Brockton. There's a Brockton cyclery and some art. And right behind me is the old Brockton Town Hall. And that dates back to 1882. It's like some kind of Korean bodega, although a bodega is more of a variety store. It's kind of a neat concept. I imagine in the evening this place will be a lot busier. There's a former theater. And there's been a fair bit of controversy itself surrounding the decision to rename Dundas. And one of the key points is the city didn't follow its own renaming policy. And that requires 75% of the property owners on Dundas to sign off on the name change. And it was estimated that the cost to the city alone would be somewhere around $6 to $10 million just to change the name of the street. Plus, no doubt, much more expenses that'll be paid by the property owners and the business owners and the residents of this area, as all their signs and menus and listings, everything will have to be updated to show the new name. So it'll be kind of interesting to watch this play out, as it'll certainly set a precedent for the future, as not everyone who's had a street named after them has a squeaky clean history. You could look up the history of Jarvis or Wellington and Wellesley. Heck, the entire city of Brantford might have to be renamed. And that is quite the expensive rabbit hole to go down. I mean, where do you draw the line at this is okay and this isn't, right? So I really think for the cost of $6 to $10 million, the right thing to do is just to rededicate the street to someone else and keep the name. Changing it's not going to make anyone's life better unless you're in the business of selling signs.
There's somebody sitting next to you that name of the
There's a hell of a view of the financial district off in the distance. I've said it before when I walked around this part, but I wish I had a better zoom on this camera. And this is Dufferin Street I'm approaching. And this area is known for its old school bakeries. There's a large Portuguese Canadian and Brazilian Canadian population. Let's walk on the north side for a few blocks. There's the 29 Dufferin bus. And on the topic of renaming the street, this is the same city council that voted to uphold the ban on electric scooters despite being provided with zero evidence that they're really any different from e-bikes or bikes, so I don't really have a lot of confidence in them. Toronto's the only city in Ontario where they're banned. Although fortunately it's not an enforced ban. There's some neat artwork in there. And that's about as political as they'll get. Oh, here's Antler. This place is quite popular. I think that might be the restaurant that sent the Premier of the province a bill for all the beer they ordered after they were forced to close down shortly after reopening last year.
Okay.
That lady just almost backed right into me.
Sit. Stop being annoying. Sit. Sorry, it's
emotional labor, I would say. That like I'm usually not. I just got used to it, right? Like I'm just so used to just me and having like so much control.
It is quite hot. It feels the south side of Dundas is a little more shaded. Maybe I'll cross back over. On my way over, I stopped at a Mexican restaurant in the Yonge and Davisville area. Well, just south of Eglinton, called Clandestina. And I had myself a Sol, which is a Mexican cerveza. And 3 tacos that were quite good. And it was very affordable. I will definitely be going back to that place. Night in a sidewalk patio, not too unlike that one. There's another gallery.
Yeah, you're right. It was me. I thought it was closer to the store.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think this is Dovercourt coming up, which would be the end of Little Portugal. My stuff to live stream, but I might hold off until tomorrow. I was also thinking of doing a second video after this. So here's Dovercourt. I think I started a walk-off not too long ago here. I did a walk along Ossington Avenue to check out all the patios. I took the Dundas streetcar to this intersection, and I hopped out. And that one I went up to Trinity Bellwoods Park, or up through Trinity Bellwoods from Queen. I think that was on a Saturday evening. Mexican street food. There's a neat patio called Venice across the street. A lot of people sort of refer to this area as Hipster Central. Just to the south of here is West Queen West. There's a former beer store location. I think things might be a little better on the south side of the street here. And the next major intersection is Ossington. I am the wrong person to ask for a cigarette. Oh, he said cigarette, sir, to the next guy. The Get Well is a popular bar in this area. And coming up is the Communist Daughter.
Budget of the CIA, the NSA.
That was kind of a neat looking bar. There's the Communist Daughter. I remember drinking Stiegels in there one night. And this is Ossington Avenue. It's definitely a popular spot to hit up for bars and restaurants. Maybe I'll cross over to the north side here. We'll walk by the Lakeview Restaurant. That's definitely an old school feeling diner. And it's where they filmed a number of movies and TV shows. I think Cocktail, The Boondock Saints, Max Payne, and The Shape of Water have all been filmed there, or at least scenes from them. Obviously not the entire productions. It's also really good and not that expensive.
To Dundas West Station. Please wear a mask or face covering when riding the TTC.
There it is, the Lakeview. They've got some really old school booths in there. So I wonder what this street will end up being called. I certainly won't be renaming it after me. We already have a Toronto Street. Let's walk alongside the park. So this is Trinity Bellwoods, and on the south side of the park is Queen Street West. There's a rather large homeless encampment in this park that was cleared out, I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And more recently, to the east of here at Alexandra Park, the city has cleared out that homeless encampment. And those have been another source of controversy. I think for the Alexandra Park encampment, the police made something like 27 arrests, and 26 of them were protesters. Don't quote me on those numbers. And I think it just got to the point where a lot of the residents felt these parks were not safe for their families. There were a few explosions that went off. I think from some of the cooking gear that was being used. There's also reports of needles and violence. And I don't know the answer, but I think the city went to a great expense to offer everyone in the encampments at least a temporary place. So I think this next part will overlap with the walk I did about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But we're almost near Bathurst. And it's quite hot. I think I'll just jump on a streetcar at that point.
Yeah.
And that guy moved the bare minimum out of the way. And this is Gorevale Avenue. The eastern edge of Trinity Bell Woods runs alongside Gorevale Avenue. And after I recorded that walk through Ossington and Trinity Bell Woods, I went to a restaurant in this area that was quite good. We'll be walking by there soon.
Scott, can I look up next to you?
There's a look down one of Toronto's laneways. So coming up to the east is Bathurst Street, and then past that we'll be in Chinatown with Kensington Market just to the north and the Alexandra Park neighborhood just to the south. a neat color on that M4. I don't know who he was waving at. I looked over my shoulder and didn't see anyone.
It was really it was nice under that patio.
I always want to get.
There's the Lucky Strike. It's a bar that I think serves mostly tall boys.
Really coming up.
I'm also curious if they'll be renaming Dundas and Mississauga. And other cities that it runs through. There's the restaurant I went to, Old School. Had the chicken and waffles and a couple of beers. Let's test the crosswalk in this area. Okay. There's like an Old School. Not too familiar with these spots. I think this restaurant's called Patois, and that's the almond butterfly. And there's a Dundas streetcar. Maybe I'll try to hop on to the next one. There's a look at Collective Arts. That's a local craft brewery. Got a pretty good-sized patio. I'll just... Where is this guy going? I don't think you got the memo that you're supposed to stop before the line.
I never met her in my life. Who told you I met her?
I don't know, through some program, I guess.
It looks like if I hustled, I could have caught this streetcar.
You guys might not see me for a while.
Well, there's a number of interesting street food vendors just east of Bathurst. Maybe we could take a stroll past them. And by that time, the next streetcar will be rolling around. This is the intersection of Bathurst and Dundas. And those security guys, I think, are working at the park. where they recently cleared out that homeless encampment. I was recording a video through there in the winter, and there were a couple of very nice people bringing soup to everyone in the encampment. They even offered it to me. There's the Alexandra Park Library branch. Officially known as the Charles R. Sanderson branch. And here's the street food vendors I talked about. Oh, this one serves banh mi. They are not all open. Maybe it's more of a weekday thing. Thai street food. Filipino street food. Trying to pull out my phone and see when the next streetcar is. But it's not populating anything. Oh. The next streetcar will be at Denison in 6 minutes, so that timing works out. There's the CN Tower off in the distance. Oh, and a big swimming pool at Alexandra Park is open. And we're entering Chinatown. Although I will save recording it for another day. I'm just going to get to the next streetcar stop here. And I'll take the streetcar over to Dundas Square, and I might just record that as a video from my other channel, Johnny Stumbles. But I'd like to thank you for watching this walk through Little Portugal from Dundas and Landsdowne, east along Dundas, all the way to here at Dundas and Denison. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there are links to my Patreon and YouTube channel memberships in the description. And you can check out my Instagram as well. And I think this will be it for this video. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and I will catch you on the next one.